Hey family, how are you? It's me, Nicole J, and I'm back with another video. Um, I wasn't quite sure what I wanted to do this video on, but someone asked me to do a story time. So I will do a story time, of course, about my life. I can talk about how I went into foster care. We are all made with a purpose, for a purpose, excuse me. And I'm sorry about my fan, y'all. That's just rude, but it's hot. I'm waiting to do some business. Y'all see in the car, Faven see me right here. Boo. So, anywho, how I went into foster care. I do not remember. How many of y'all, put that in the comments below, how many of y'all really remember y'all childhood? I mean, like childhood, like 3 years old. Well, I don't think nobody remember 3 years old. I don't know, some people might. Maybe like 6 years old, 7 years old. I do not remember anything. I just remember my mom had a 2-story house, and I remember a tree house, and then I just remember my brother killing the baby bird that was in the nest next to the tree house on a branch, and he killed it, and I was so super duper hurt. That's all I remember from like childhood. Now when I was 7, I do remember staying in an apartment with my mom. My mom, and my brother, we used to live in Linwood. You know, I'm a Cali girl, so yes, we used to live in Linwood in some raggedy apartments, y'all, but we was happy. You know how that go. And all I remember, one day my dad came home from jail. Okay, I remember my mom being super duper happy. I remember my brother was scared. I was scared as well, and he kind of tried to he tried to make us feel welcome. He would give us candy and do different things so we can kind of open up to him. As far as I knew, I didn't have a daddy, so this was something very new to me. And I did temporarily feel the affection and love of a father from him. He used to let me ride on his neck. You know how the fathers hold your legs and put you around their neck and stuff. I thought I was it with the chingy eyes, honey. My dad used to always remind me of Mike Tyson. He was real buff, was tatted up, kind of had like a real low fade. And I remember him throwing a birthday party for my brother in the apartment, a pool party. And he was like throwing money in the pool and candy and sodas and stuff. And he had all the kids from the apartments involved. He was grilling. And we really had like a temporary family, and it felt complete. We had our mom, we had our dad, and you know, it didn't matter that our mom was blind anymore, because as a child, you know, now as an adult, you know, I regret it, but as a child, we used to have to go around with my mom and go grocery shopping while she was blind, and it was a little embarrassing as a child, because you go get this, get that, and people looking, you know how people ignorant and rude, you know. And when we I remember my mom used to have, y'all know them blind canes, the white, black, and red, honey. My mama, when we would mess up, pop, knock us upside the head with that cane, baby. We felt that, all 3 levels of that metal. But we, at one point in time, felt like a family. My mom used to go to the school of Braille. And I remember going one time, and it was so freaking cool, y'all. They had a kitchen set up, they had a living room set up, every compartment of a home they had set up, and they had braille everything. So if she needed to know what the microwave was, it was braille there, so she knew microwave, she could feel it. She knew the stove, she knew. So it was teaching them how to read and how to operate around a kitchen, and how to sense heat, how to sense. So it was really cool. And at the bottom of the school, like, you would go all the way to the last floor, because it was a couple of floors, they had a like Blockbuster for the blind. And when I say a Blockbuster for the blind, you could go and rent movies like VHS's, old school, for your VCR, and they had braille on them as well. And I remember this time, me, my mom, and my brother, because they wanted to meet her kids, so we went. I remember we used to take a taxi to go, and we rented Candyman and a couple of other movies. Okay, so this particular night we came home because it took a minute to travel there and come back. We got home, my mom had a pull-out bed of the couch, and we all sat on the bed, me, my brother, my dad, and my mama. We had popcorn, we had candy and stuff, and we were watching Candyman. Okay, so we just chilling, all hugged up on each other. My mom ended up falling asleep, and I was getting sleepy as well. But I got scared because, you know, Candyman, when he came up behind them with that hook, honey, and gutted them out, and blood squirted everywhere on the screen, I was like, this ain't it. So, long story short, I went in. My mom told me to go in the bed, get in her bed, and she was gonna come in there in a minute to lay with me, but she fell asleep. She kept dozing off, and she actually went to sleep. My brother must have came in there later on that night. I did not know, but my dad came in. When my dad came in, I was asleep, my brother was asleep, and my dad was like in the middle of me and my brother, and then he rolled over on top of me, and I had like a big shirt on. I had a big Minnie Mouse shirt that you know, them long night shirts that pass your knee, a Minnie Mouse one that my auntie Diane gave me, and I don't know how I remember that to this day. But he climbed on top of me, pulled my panties to the side, and I screamed, and I started to cry. My dad opened his eyes. For some reason, his eyes were closed, and he just rolled over, and I was so afraid, y'all. I was afraid when he was getting on top of me. I was afraid, and I was whispering like in fear, Dad, and his eyes were not open. And when he did that, I could feel him with one hand trying to push it in, and he pushed it in, and it hurt so bad, y'all. And he kept trying to push it in, and then that's when I screamed, and he opened his eyes. I cried, and I laid there on my back, y'all, scared to move. I didn't know if he was going to hit me. I don't know why such fear overcame me at that moment in time. Because I guess now that I'm older, I can analyze that, you know, so much at that point. If he was able to do that, he could do anything. And that's where that fear came from, that he would hit me or anything. So I eventually went to sleep. The next morning, he was gone. My brother was in the bed. That's when I realized, oh, my brother was in the bed. He didn't hear me. You know, I really wasn't that loud either because I was scared. You're scared as a young child, period. So I told my mom. She really didn't necessarily believe me at first. And then I don't know if something came over her, if the Holy Spirit, something. She called the police. This was the next day. I did not take a bath or anything, y'all. I literally just was like in a moping, depressed state that whole day. My mindset was totally different then. I don't know what was going on. I guess that's maybe as well. She figured, okay, something's not right. Long story short, we went to, it was like a police department hooked up to the hospital or some sort or whatever. They did a rape kit on me, saw some foul play was taking place, and they sent a caseworker, and they took us away. And that's exactly how that happened. That was in 1991. And that's how me and my brother went into foster care. From there, we went to various homes. That's another story time, but we went to various homes. But I will say this, y'all, if it weren't for the grace of God, if it weren't for me learning who the Lord was for myself, not off of what my grandma said, not off of my mama, because my mom was a Jehovah's Witness, I had to learn him for myself. That's why I know he's real. If it weren't for him, I would be a nutcase and a half, because something happens to a young girl when you take they box away from them. When you, not just that, but when you put yourself on someone, especially as a family member, a male, someone that you look up to, it does something on so many levels to your mind. And as a woman, when you get older, people not trying to hear that no more. They're not, oh, you were younger, you need to get over it, you this, that, and the third. Oh, so many black women, this, that, and the third. And, you know, oh, it happens to everybody. Everybody has a story. But yes, everyone has a story, and you have to learn how to deal with it in a healthy way. Not saying get over it, but deal with it in a healthy way. That's why I do believe in counseling. I believe counseling is a great tool Because when my mother passed, I went through counseling for 2 years, and it helped me to deal with my mother. It helped me to deal with things that happened to me as a child in general, and it helped me to organize all the crazy crap that was going on in my head. So I would definitely tell everybody, stay encouraged, put God first. You know what I'm saying? Don't let your past dictate your present. You are in control under God of where your destiny, where your life takes you, and yeah, where your destiny takes you. Everyone has a calling, everyone has a purpose. That's why I'm on YouTube telling you fearlessly that what has happened to me in my life, different life stories, and I show you the good, the bad, and the ugly, and I show you the good times, me and my husband date night, times with my children, Friday night, movie night, because God is able to do anything. He can take you from this to that. Anyways, you guys stay blessed, stay encouraged, and let me know what you want to hear next. Bye. Mwah.